unanimous support with the, both sides of the aisle, the Democrats and the Republicans, for the legislation. However, our concern was not really truly realized, and so it brought us to a repeal. It was not an easy thought on our part, but we felt that something had to be done, which is certainly more constructive. And as I said to you, the program was unanimously supported by both sides of the aisle, primarily because we were interested in the safety of students, teachers, and parents at school crossing. And I did have a crossing guard who was very critically injured at a school crossing. And so safety was a primary factor. However, what happened, that unanimous support began to erode primarily because the program was poorly implemented. And so it was our obligation to see that we did the right thing. And I believe that we did the right thing by filing the legislation to repeal the law. And I will tell you right now that the primary factor or objective of the law on both sides of the aisle was to secure the safety of those who use the school crossings. And I said that I would do my homework before I would make a decision with the cooperation of my caucus, and I spoke with the acting commissioner on the safety factor, and he has told me that he will increase police patrolling and monitoring of school zones. In addition, we had advocated way back to install flashing lights at the school zones that had the cameras. And so we're still going to pursue that. So the safety factor is being addressed, and we're looking to see that our primary objective is fulfilled. And all of us want to see our residents and our children safe at school crossings. That's where we are today, and I'm hoping the way we roll this out unanimously with the support of the minority, I'm hoping that on Monday, the 15th of December, that the minority and the majority will join together in a bipartisan way to repeal this legislation. That's where it's at.
Question?
Yes.
Some people who have called for the repeal of the program have also called for all tickets to be voided and for money to be refunded. What are your thoughts?
That's not my decision. This is the decision that would have to be made by the county attorney in conjunction with TIPA and the administration. That is not in our jurisdiction.
Do you have any ideas?
No, I don't. As I said, it would be the decision of the county attorney and TIPA, together with the county executive, to decide how they were going to do it.
How are you going to replace all the lost revenue? I mean, the money was being counted on for salaries, police salaries, correct? I mean, there's a whole lot of money that's not.
I'm telling you right now, there will be a $30 million hole in the budget, so to speak, possibly. And we'll be going to work with the county executive and the controller in trying to find ways in which to plug that hole without raising taxes.
Do you know what kind of...
Wait a minute now. I got to be fair, Robert.
So, going back to the money situation, number one, do you have specific proposals that you're ready to introduce currently from the Republican caucus regarding filling that budget hole? And two, ATS, the vendor here managing the program, is set to get about $3 million or so in just the termination fee alone. Did you consider that, or are you prepared to challenge that in any way?
No, we're not. Look, that's the contract. And according to that contract, we would have to make the call. And at this point, I don't think the number is $3 million, it's closer to $1.8 million. I don't have the exact figure, but that's what we would have to compensate ATS. The other thing, as far as
specific proposals do you have?
No, this is something that I just said we would work with the county executive and the controller in trying to come up with ways in which we can plug that. But the first step is going to have to be the county executive. Okay.
sorry, you were-
Oh, yes, you did.
Thank you. Will the county then, in addition, be on the hook for paying for the removal of the cameras, or is that covered by the $2
That
million?
would be part of the contract, and that would be that $1.8 million that I just said.
So the county never paid for the cameras, they basically leased them?
That's right. Or,
Now, in terms of the flashing light signage, you said you still want to go through with that. That was the one, the community funds were only going to be used for 56 sites where cameras were going to be. Do you want to spend more money and put them everywhere, or what's the status?
I believe that our intention was to put the flashing lights using CRP monies in the school districts that the cameras were in.
Mr. Planning Officer, what's your tipping point? Because obviously it's been, the plan has been criticized for many, many months now. Changes all along the way. Was there a moment where you guys just got together and said something happened where?
I'm going to put you one honesty, and I'm going to give you honesty. When the hours were prepared, another change to the program was made. It was time for us to seriously consider the demise of these cameras.
Why is that?
Why is that? Because again, it sends the wrong message to the public. If it's really what you wanted to do, why do we have to make all these changes? And this is what's happened. And I have the support of my delegation in repealing this, and I know, and in my heart, that since the Dems were also, the Democrats were also interested in repealing the law, that we're going to, just as we supported it unanimously, we're going to repeal it unanimously. That's the message.
The Republican county executive, if you're a Republican, behind your Republicans, he can't be very happy with this announcement.
I can't speak for him and engage.
But have you talked to him?
I did, I told him.
Was he
And of course,
reaction?
I said to him that, he was concerned about plugging the hole, and I said, that's your job to do, and we'll give you whatever assistance we can, and that's where I left it.
Did he try to talk you out of it? Or he wasn't
No, he
saying
did
it?
not, because it's not easy to talk Norma out of it.
Did he
Since there
indicate
was
if
so
he
much
would
political
veto it?
opposition to this program, there were so many complaints to county legislatures. Was there ever a political implication? In 2015, the legislature is up for re-election.
I'm gonna be honest again, Andrew. I will tell you, it was the way this program was implemented, and the changes that took place since August, when it was rolled out during summer school, so-called summer school hours, we began to see the handwriting on the wall with the program. And so, we represent our constituents in all of our districts, and I think that we had an obligation to really listen to what they have to say.
And how likely is it?
I can't talk to both of you at the same time, yes.
How likely is it that, after some time goes by and the program would be reintroduced in a more, a manner that everybody would be excited? In other words,
I don't know
bring
if
it
that's,
back.
I don't know the date, but I'll tell you right now, I don't know if that's gonna happen. And you know that, our county executive alone, right after we filed our legislation and it was made known that we were going to repeal it, he said, we're not doing this now. Okay, so they scrapped the program as well.
But
So
later-
I don't know, that's a, I just, can bring it down the road, and I don't know whether or not it would ever be received, well, by the public. They have a terrible taste in their mouth, and you know what? And in many instances, it's warranted, but I think, like I said to you, we have an obligation to do what's right, and I did say to one editor of Newsday that I will do everything with the cooperation of my delegation to do the right thing. And that editor said to me, I know Norma, you will do the right thing. And so I believe that we are doing the right thing.
Norma, very rarely in politics do you get a chance to have a political do-over as what's happening here. In hindsight, do you regret, does your caucus regret going forward as quickly as this measure did? Do you regret anything that happened from your side? Obviously, the county executive might have some regrets. Do you regret passing this so quickly, moving forward?
I don't think we regretted the fact that we passed this so quickly. I think there was some thought put into it there was information given to us, and I said to you before that the primary objective was safety, and I think that's really what made us look at this seriously and consider passing this law unanimously. So, yes.
Could we just ask some of the other legislators?
Oh, you can.
If they heard from their constituents, what, changed their mind? Do you mind? Can you speak at the podium? Thank you.
I'll introduce you. Say your name.
Sure. Richard Nicolello, legislator from District 9.
Did you have a groundswell of opposition that you heard as
I
well?
think we all did, every one of us, every legislator who's serving, not only people contacting our offices, but everywhere we went. That was the one subject that people were bringing up, that the way the program was being implemented and some of the unfair elements of it. So, I mean, I can speak for myself, but I'm sure all my colleagues also. We all were hearing from it, from our constituents, from our friends, from our relatives. So the answer is yes.
Coming out of church, at the delis, online, at the grocery store, people talking about it. And if your constituents aren't happy, we're here to represent them. And that's what we're doing. We're representing them the best we can. And we're repealing this because that was what's asked of us by our constituents. The safety is not going to be at all hindered because we're going to work diligently with the police department and the school districts to make sure that the safety is not cast to the side. So we'll be continuously working, as Norma said, with the police department and the school districts to make sure that the public safety is not hindered by this law. Increasing patrols by the police department, maybe more staff in the schools coming outside, and I don't know, we're going to figure things out as we go on, but that's a work in progress right now. But yes, the constituents have been complaining, and we responded to them.
Mr. Dunn,
I'm sorry.
is there one moment where you're talking about coming out of church, at a deli, is there one moment where when somebody just kind of just stuck with you that you have to start looking at this again?
Well, I'll give you a specific. You want a specific? I was getting ready to go to church. I was tying my shoes. Phone rang. I answered it, and it was a friend who was on a 40th anniversary committee for Levittown's 40th anniversary. And she said, "Dennis, I love you. My husband was a Marine. My father was a Marine. I love you, but you're killing me here. My grandson was an Eagle Scout, and he got 3 tickets already. And this is terrible. What are you doing?" I'm saying, "You know what?" And she wouldn't let me put a word in edgewise. And then she just hung up. And I said, "Wow, they're mad out there. They're really angry out there. And we got to stop and listen. We don't live in a vacuum. We represent the people, so we have to represent them. So we listened, and you know what? We're doing the right thing right now. Thank you."
The full name, please.
Laura Schaefer from the 14th District. I think also, just to piggyback on Legislator Dunn, it wasn't one moment, certainly it wasn't for me, it was a kind of a collective snowball effect, one thing after the other, and seeing the implementation and how there was something that could have been done to roll it out a little bit better here and there, and I think that ultimately just came to this point, where we are today, where we're here to tell you that this is the legislation we want to put forward and repeal it. Thank you.
Don McKenzie from the 18th District, and I'd echo the sentiments of my fellow legislators, and there was a feeling amongst the public, specifically because of the implementation, of a feeling of unfairness and that the program was unforgiving. Everywhere you went, like the other legislators said, be it a Veterans Day celebration or something else, law-abiding people really felt an unfairness about the way the program was done, and we obviously felt that sentiment too from speaking with them and seeing how things, the reaction, but also the fact too that by cutting back the hours, it cuts back on the revenue aspect of the program. So to say that the volume of tickets was dropping as well. So in all aspects, we think the best thing to do was to repeal the program and work on different ways to move the county forward.
Norma, if I could ask you,
I'm going to respond. As presiding officer, I may not have gotten too many responses in my district. However, they all came to me in spite of the fact that they were not in my district. But I'm going to tell you, on Sunday morning, I went to church, and I see this couple every week. And wife said to me, "I don't know if this is the time or the place." I said, "Rose, tell me what the problem is." And she mentioned the speed cameras. And she said, there's a lot of confusion out there, and I don't know what you're going to do. And I said, I hope I'm going to be enlightened here during the service. So the sentiment out there was really and truly diminishing against the speed cameras, and I think we had an obligation to take the action that we took yesterday. So I'm hoping that we did the right thing, and I believe in my heart, and I believe my colleagues also believe on both sides of the aisle, believe that we've done the right thing. So there goes. Yes.
Only last question for me. I just wonder, I know it's not easy to criticize something you've all approved, and you're all very high on at one point. It was pretty exciting when this whole thing was unraveling, and in fact, it was led by the county executive, which was responsible for the county executive, but you said it was badly implemented. Somebody screwed this up. Is it the county executive who screwed
I'm not going to answer that, because I'm not going to intimidate anyone in particular, but if you notice when the program was implemented, when it began, I think that's what stirred the pot. The public was very upset over the fact that it was rolled out during the summertime in areas that they did not even know about. They had no idea summer school was in session. And so that really began the anger out there. I have to say, when the county executive declared amnesty, it was at that time I said to the county executive, I want to put flashing lights in my school districts and using CRT monies. And so that didn't get anywhere. Something else happened. And finally, we did send a letter to the county saying we need to do that to increase the safety. And so things didn't happen as quickly as we thought it should have, and resentment continued to escalate. And you know what? If we serve the public, and I don't care if I'm Republican, Democrat, or whatever, when I'm elected and all my colleagues are elected, we don't take calls just from Republicans. We take calls from our constituents. And so their voices have been heard, and I think we have done the right thing by filing the legislation to repeal. And hopefully on Monday, like I said, it was unanimously adopted way back, and I don't remember when, but I hope that on Monday it will be unanimously repealed. Okay. All right, I'll take your question.
If Rose comes up to you in church again, saying, wave your ticket, what should I do with my ticket now?
She paid the ticket.
Well,
Rose paid the ticket.
what if you haven't paid your ticket?
Well, I told you before, and I'm telling you again, this is a decision that has to be made by the county attorney and the judge. And I thank you very much for